Hey YouTube, how's it going? Manic Geek here again, and just wanted to start off by giving you guys some tours of some of the computers that I have lying around my house. Now I'm going to give you guys a disclaimer right now. The computers you're going to see in my house are all AMD-based platforms. This does not mean that I am an AMD fanboy by any stretch of the imagination. That's just how the dice fell as I was building these computers. Now, I wanted to start off by talking about my home theater PC here because the concept of a home theater computer has kind of started to evolve a lot, especially ever since CES dropped this year. So I wanted to go over the specs of the system with you, give you a quick breakdown of the performance, give you a link to the build log that I have for this system, and give a rundown of some of my thoughts on home theater computing in general and where that's really heading in the foreseeable future. So let's get into it. So to start off, I used the Cougar MX500 ATX mid tower. I got this in as a review sample previously and wanted to see what I could really do with it. All of the fans in this system are Cougar's own pulse width modulated 120mm fans that are plugged straight into the motherboard and run as low as they can possibly go. This minimizes noise without dramatically impacting cooling, surprisingly. Now, to get things as quiet as I could possibly get them, I wound up applying sound dampening foam, and this is the Silverstone stuff, on every panel, on every nook and cranny that I could possibly fit it without it looking like ass. Now, the roof proved to be a special kind of challenge because it's basically all just open mesh up there, so I had to fabricate a panel to use up there, similar to what Fractal Design uses on their cases. I also wound up modding in a window to the side panel because this case does not come with one originally, and I wanted to show off the hardware. Now, everything inside was water-cooled as a sponsored effort by SwiftTech, and I would like to think that the end result turned out pretty nice. Now, this is an entirely APU-based system running an AMD A10 7850K in tandem with an XFX R7 250 graphics adapter. Both are overclocked. And in case you haven't figured it out by now, the theme of this build is black and gold. I was going through a bit of an 80s opulence thing at the time. Now, the memory here is the ADATA XPG V2 RAM that I have overclocked to 2133 megahertz. It is 8 gigs of density, so not anything earth-shattering, but for what this system was used for, it serves its purpose. The GPU was also included in the water cooling loop, using one of SwiftTech's universal GPU solutions that was custom painted gold. Now, obviously, a system like this doesn't really need a whole lot of power to run it, but just for the sake of color matching everything, I went with an Enermax Revolution XT 630 watt power supply. This is an 80 plus gold unit with modular cables. They are black, they are flat, and they are quite pretty. Now, as far as storage goes, I only had enough money at the time for a Seagate Barracuda 1TB hard drive, but it serves its purpose just fine. Now, I did go ahead and color some of the accent pieces on this case gold to fit the whole black and gold color scheme on the inside. I even went around back and colored the thumb screws for the panels, as well as the fastening screws for the radiator, the PCI Express cover panels, and even the power supply screws, because reasons. So there you have it, guys. That's my home theater computer. Hope you liked it, and let's wrap this one up. So there you guys have it. That's the first of 3 systems that I own in my house. Second one I'm going to be going over with you guys is my fiance's rig, which is just off camera over there. And then we'll conclude with the rig that I use for basically everything that I do online, including making the videos for this channel. If you want to go into a little bit more detail about the specifics of my home theater computer and what I went through building it, some of the testing that I did, and my thoughts on the completed system, I have a link down in the description below bringing you guys to the work log that I posted on pureoverclock.com's forum pages. While you're there, why don't you go ahead and register and stick around. They got a lot of really great people there, and they're all very knowledgeable. Now, I chose to start with my home theater computer mostly because in light of the recent unveilings of the Razer Forge TV and the NZXT Doco, I may actually be retiring this computer soon, at least as far as a dedicated machine is concerned. I'll probably still be keeping the hardware around to use as a dedicated APU testbed system to run some benchmarks on and see how much those APUs actually do hold back performance on some of the parts that I get into test. But let me know what you guys think. Do you feel like, in light of these new home PC streaming devices like the Doco, that there is still a place for a dedicated home theater computer? I can tell you personally, for my use, no. There is not currently a need anymore. But I can see where some people still might use one. But I want to hear what you guys have to say about it. Also, would you like to see me do a review of the NZXT Doco? It's certainly a product that's of interest to me. I may very well be getting one for my house anyway. And yeah, hit me up in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think. You want to see me cover the Doco? Anyway, that's about it for this one. This is Mike the Manic Geek, signing off until next time. Take it easy, YouTube.